around the Inside Politics table, ask our great reporters to share a little bit from their notebooks. Nia Malika Henderson.
17 governors have signed on to sue the president over this executive order on immigration reform. It's led by Greg Abbott, who's the incoming governor in Texas. And if you look at the list of governors, it's all Republicans, and it includes people who might be in the mix in 2016. People like Mike Pence, people like Bobby Jindal, people like Scott Walker. It does not include, at least so far, Chris Christie. Chris Christie has so far said that he doesn't want to talk at all about immigration reform, and he won't do that unless he decides to run. But it's a question of whether or not this lawsuit will be kind of a litmus test going forward in 2016, whether or not he's going to be pressured to sign on and how he's going to navigate that. That'll be interesting to watch over the next couple of weeks.
A couple of those governors signed on might be there on the debate stage.
Yes.
Just waiting for that one. Jonathan Martin?
John, Rick Snyder, the governor of Michigan, has not gotten the same attention as some of the other GOP governors who are looking at the White House. But he was in Washington this past week. He got an award from Governing Magazine. And while he was in the Capitol, his folks reached out to some reporters and brought him in to talk to Governor Snyder. And it's this great dance, John, that you know. You talk to these politicians, and they're waiting for you to ask the question, and you finally do. So do you want to run for president? And, of course, he has his answer down that he's fully focused right now on Michigan and telling the Michigan story. And chief in that is the fact that the unemployment rate has dropped in that state that was so hard hit by the recession. But he is someone who wants to, at the very least, be in the mix for 2016. He is sort of a Jeb Bush-style Republican, pro-Common Core, very, very supportive of immigration reform. But keep an eye on Rick Snyder of Michigan, one tough nerd, as he calls himself, who won a second term in a state that's very Democratic leaning.
I would say it'd be interesting to see a Republican governor running from deep blue presidential Michigan. That would be interesting. Robert?
If House Republicans this week are able to avoid a government shutdown over immigration, Speaker John Boehner will get a lot of credit, and probably deservedly so, for wrangling his caucus together and getting it through. But one other person who deserves attention is Steve Scalise, the new House Majority Whip from Louisiana. He has been able to finagle this thing for the last few days and make sure that conservatives feel like they're part of the process in the House leadership, and they're not looking for a showdown in the way they have a year ago when they got a shutdown over health care reform. So Scalise, he was part of the leadership that changed when Eric Cantor lost. McCarthy moved up. Scalise moved up. He's been helpful to Boehner in bringing conservatives along.
Important point there, Julie.
Well, we're starting to see the first glimmerings of a bigger rift between the White House and congressional Democrats, which, of course, we've seen suggestions of in the past and certainly in the last weeks of the election. The White House is privately pretty angry that Chuck Schumer went out and said that Democrats shouldn't have focused as much on the health care law, that it hurt them in the midterms and then beyond. And so I think we're going to see in the months and weeks ahead a real sort of division starting to emerge, especially as the White House starts to really press on trade, which is an issue that divides Democrats. I think we're going to see that daylight get even brighter.
Worth watching that one as the presidency winds down. His party often begins to stray. I'll close with this. Put your money on later rather than sooner. Later meaning when will Hillary Clinton tell us if and when she's running for president? Most expect that answer will be yes, but there's been a debate in her camp about whether she should say so soon, just get it out of the way, clear up the confusion in the party, or whether she can sit back and wait because her position is so strong in the polls. I'm told that she's in no hurry to make this decision, and that among those people she listens to most of them now agree that there's no reason to rush it. So don't expect that one before the year ends, and maybe not too early next year either.